This video will show you 3 things that you must let go of in order to change your beliefs instantly. I'm going to share with you tools and practical understandings as to how to do that so that you're able to be the person that you prefer to be. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you those 3 things you must let go of and help you really understand that your beliefs are creating your reality. Now I always like to take it to this level because a lot of times on this channel, it's about the law of attraction, understanding how we attract what we are focused on and how we attract a reflection of who we are being. But I like to really get to the core of what that actually means. And what it's rooted in is this understanding that at the deeper core level of who we are, our beliefs are what is shaping and architecting the kind of experiences that we have. Because all of our beliefs are what are called self-fulfilling prophecies. And when we come to understand this, we can really decide how are we going to change ourselves from the inside out. And this is where the greatest amount of transformation comes, because as we go within and we are who we prefer to be, we will then get a new reflection in our lives. So when it comes to beliefs, understand that most of them are unconscious, and that's why a lot of this process is simply becoming aware of what was priorly unconscious. Now, the first thing that we must let go of when it comes to changing our beliefs instantly has to do with letting go of the payoff that we're getting from the beliefs that we currently have. Now this sounds kind of counterintuitive. What payoff would I be getting from negative beliefs? But understand that a belief is there because it is keeping us safe. A belief is there to keep us comfortable, to keep us away from experience anything outside of the survival mechanism. Understand that the way we are wired is to keep ourselves safe. We are wired, and our brain is wired to keep us in a comfort zone, to keep us from anything dangerous, because dangerous is unknown. And when we don't know what will happen, we want to stay inside that bubble. So first off, realize that every belief is rooted in some type of payoff. Now let me give you an example of what that could be. There might be a belief that it would be scary to go to the gym and lose weight and become healthy. Now that sounds really weird, right? Why would I be afraid of doing that? But a belief may be in place that is keeping you safe from the uncomfortableness of having to put yourself out there and make your muscles sore, from having to eat healthy foods and be one of those boring people that eats a lot of vegetables and that has to eat like clean food. You see, there are beliefs in place that keep us in what is called homeostasis, in a certain way of thinking that is comfortable, wiring the synaptic connections in our brain that are familiar, and because of that, it's about realizing there is always a payoff. Now, even some of the more negative beliefs that were like, how would that possibly give me some type of a positive payoff? But realize that it's what our brain perceives as positive. Now, it could be somebody is making there's a belief that always has you going towards a certain type of person that hurts you. Maybe you always find yourself in a relationship with a girl or a guy that emotionally hurts you. And you have a belief that that is what you are worthy of. Consciously, you know, this isn't healthy for me, I don't enjoy this, but there's some type of payoff to it, and even that payoff could be some type of negative emotion, because there's a pattern of that negative emotion. I remember one of my first girlfriends was someone that said that if there wasn't enough drama in the relationship, she felt like it wasn't real. She felt like there wasn't that connection there. So we would constantly get into these arguments, and I was like, why is this happening? Years later, I realized there may have been some type of addiction to that feeling, and in the mind, there was a meaning to the feeling of if there isn't problems and conflict, then somebody doesn't care. You see, so there's some type of payoff there, even though it's a negative type payoff. So what I encourage you to do first off is to realize you're getting some type of payoff from your negative beliefs, but what you must do is associate pleasure with making change, associate pleasure with who you prefer to be, and to start to take action in that point of view. Think of this in the form of the gym, just because it's the easiest example. Associate pleasure with who you will become by going to the gym every day, who you will become by eating healthy. Imagine all the vital energy you would have if you ate healthy. Might not feel good in the moment because instead of deep fried foods, instead of very heavy foods, you have to eat all of this healthy stuff. stuff, but imagine the energy that will come from it. We're thinking more long-term here than short-term, and as we associate these things with part of our identity, with part of who we prefer to be, we will start to move in the direction of it. Now, at the same time, associate pain with who you were. Associate pain with the old beliefs, with the old awareness that, oh, I think I have to trigger these negative emotions for it to feel real. Associate pain with those ways of thinking, and you will start to move in the direction that you want. A lot of our associations with pleasure and pain are on autopilot. We're not aware of what they are. Therefore, we are moving towards beliefs that don't serve us because they're keeping us safe, and we're moving away from the things that actually would keep us to grow. So the second thing that you must let go of is memories that are rooted in who we think we are. So when we are in the present moment right now, and we are thinking the momentum of certain thoughts, we're thinking of who we are, there is a skewed sample that we see because of what memories we are focused on. So let me give you an example of this. When I was first, and I've used this example before, but I think it's something maybe a lot of people can relate to, I noticed that for a long time, anytime I would approach a girl that I was attracted to, I would get this memory in my mind of something that happened when I was 12 years old. I would feel and I would start to tighten up, and I know it's kind of common to, feel anxious when you're talking to maybe someone you're attracted to, but every time I would talk to some girl, I would start to feel this negative emotion. What I realized is it was coming from one memory that would kind of flip through the frame in my mind that it would remind me of something that happened. And it was this situation that happened when I was 12 years old at this Parks and Camp thing, this Parks and Rec place here in Vegas. And I was there because for the whole summer it was like a program. And I remember at the end of that program there was a dance. And this dance was for kids like 12 and up. I was like 12 years old, so I was just old enough to go to it. And I remember that I was walking around and I thought that the teacher, she was like 18, 19 years old, one of the moderators, I thought she was attractive. So I went up to her, I asked her to dance, and I said, hey, would you dance with me? And she looked at me and she laughed, and she kind of was like, oh, probably because I was 12 years old, She's like, oh, that's so cute. Let me find someone for you. She found me someone that was like, also 12 or 13 years old, and it was someone I didn't want to dance with. And in that moment, I felt rejected. I felt like, oh, this is all I'm worthy of. And even though, of course, now that I look back at it, of course I was 12 years old asking like an 18 or 19-year-old to dance. But in the moment, I felt rejected, and I started to associate my self-worth with that being who I am. The moment I became aware of this and I decided to let it go is the moment everything began to change. All of a sudden, when I would approach someone I was attracted to and I would talk to her, it was like it flowed much smoother because I wasn't being overburdened by that old memory. It was so much easier to talk to people. And I think that that's one thing that happens is we have so much momentum going towards memories that play in our mind, the stories we tell ourselves. But those stories do not have to be real, and all we have to do is remind ourselves that we can let it go and we don't have to focus on those memories. Now, of course, there's also memories of when I look into the past where things went very well, where there were positive situations. But you see, our mind will block those things out because of the momentum of our focus. So what I encourage you to do is to let go of those negative memories, to realize they no longer serve you, and then to start to remember the things you actually prefer or intend for the outcomes in the future of what you want. That will change just about everything. Now, the third thing that we must let go of to change our beliefs instantly is our focus in the present moment right now, and also our own state of being. And I think that these two are very intertwined. Think of your focus as your momentum. And if we're constantly focused on perspectives that don't serve us, we will feel negative experience from that. Now, at the same time, our state of being has a very powerful effect on what we experience in general. And we can't really change anything about ourselves if we're in a low paradigm, a low state of being. Imagine we walk around, our physiology is just kind of like, our eyes are looking down, so it's like we're almost just kind of in that self-defeated mode. We're trying to change ourselves, but this is how we feel. We might even talk to ourselves in our mind with this kind of low voice that has no inflection, it's very monotonous. The idea is that what we must do is snap ourselves out of that state of being. Now, I know this sounds like a fake it till you make it type thing, but realize that your state of being is controlling just about everything you experience in your life. If you increase your state of being, you will feel differently, you will remember memories that are more powerful, that are empowering, and you will start to feel like a completely new person. To change your state of being, all you have to do is change your physiology, change how you move. Some people comment on my videos, they're like, bro, you move around so much, what the hell are you doing with your arms? This is who I am. This is the way I explain myself. I'm getting better at getting more controlled over this, but realize I would rather have all of this energy that I share with you than just be like this robot that stands here like this and is just talking with the monotonous type voice. You see what I mean? It's all about understanding, expressing yourself. Express yourself, take off the filters, don't care what people think. I think people feel the energy that I have. It's very contagious. And I hear a lot of people say that. They feel and they get like a little vibe off the videos that I do. It's because of my state of being. You can tap into this state of being by moving your physiology, by feeling a certain way, by speaking in a certain way. If you guys notice, my voice tonality, the way that I speak has so many fluctuations. It's not because I'm trying, it's because that's just how I naturally feel. And especially because all of these topics I'm sharing are what I'm passionate about. So it's very natural for me. Also, remember the thoughts that you have in your head. How do you talk to yourself in your own mind? How do you think? Do you think in a monotonous type voice, or do you think in a very powerful voice? Do you think assertively? That will help you feel more decisive. That will change just about everything. So realize that you must let go of any physiology that's not serving you. You must let go of any negative state of being and start to move in a powerful way. It might feel like for a while, I'm faking it till I make it, but don't fake it till you make it. Feel it and become it. It's a very different understanding. You will become it. That will be who you are by wiring in a new pattern. Everything in our life is a pattern. Decide to be with the patterns that serve you and everything will change. So remember, the 3 things you must let go of to change your beliefs instantly is to first off let go of any negative association that you have, the payoff that you're getting from these negative beliefs. Realize you can associate it with something positive, have a positive self-image, move in that direction, associate pain with the old self and the old beliefs, and you'll start to move in that direction. Secondly, you must let go of those negative memories by first simply becoming aware of what they are, looking at them, observing them, and then deciding to let them go from a conscious point of view. And then thirdly, let go of any negative state of being that you have. Realize that as you change your physiology, everything will change and you will start to feel like a completely new person. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification gear right next to the subscribe button so that you're able to see the daily videos that I do. And also, I also put a free PDF in the description box on the top 3 techniques that have changed my life that uses NLP, uses the law of attraction in a very powerful way. You can hit that in the description box. And other than that, I'll see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste.